Is used to refer to it as Chicagoland. So
Yeah, no, yeah, I could appreciate Jordan now, but I mean, I still am, but I've kind of lost touch with basketball. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm allowing
that's
for
awesome,
jokes to happen.
Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He didn't get a ring because of Jordan. A lot of people, a lot of great Hall of Famers didn't get rings in the '90s because of Jordan. Like people don't realize. Yeah, the sneakers were a big thing, but people, if you weren't a Bulls fan, you hated Jordan because you knew, well, our team's never going to win anything. And then he retired, and then in like the 2000s, that's when everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he was a really good player," and "Oh yeah, he changed the game," and they all tried to be. I was like, "No, no, no, you fucking hated that bald bastard because you knew this gangly bald bastard was going to prevent your team from ever, if it
From ever
wasn't them, it
winning a
was the
strap.
Spurs, you
Yep.
weren't going to see shit for all the 90s. But nobody liked Jordan past the sneakers, in the 90s,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
so
it's kind of like now in pro wrestling where everybody talks about how great John Cena was.
actually I
And
have to give him credit. He did a good job and they did the right thing by having him put over Austin Theory.
yep,
And it was
yep.
actually
That's
I
what
think
cousin
some of his
Chris
best.
told me today.
you know. But it's actually funny. It reminds me of something because somebody asked me what doing a porn scene is like, and you'll get this reference. I don't think they did, but I was like, it's like a Rock and Roll Express match. You come in with a lot of fanfare. You start off with a couple of big moves,
That's
and then
right.
she sells like Ricky Morton for 20 minutes. She you make you
That's
make you
right.
make a little bit of a comeback. She gives you the hot tag, and you go home.
That's it.
And yeah, basically,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So but you can't don't fuck around and get too excited. You might catch the racket and
That's
go home too
right.
early.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. But yeah,
So
I watched.
yes, go ahead, brother.
No,
Go
no, go
ahead.
ahead. No, go
We've
ahead.
got Billy Pilgrim with us today. He, of course, is going to be part of Exotica in Chicago coming up here in a couple weeks, and we are having a lot of fun today talking essentially anything but porn, which is kind of an interesting conversation. So what in the world? You mentioned the Austin Theory beating Cena at Mania. Um, I still think somehow, some way, Vince isn't creative because I
Oh
don't
yeah,
think
no.
that would happen if Vince wasn't.
Well, I think Cena now is at a place in his life where he knows it's smarter to, it doesn't hurt him at all to put Theory over
Yeah,
because that's a kid that's like $1 million. I mean, he's gonna be main eventing WrestleMania at some point. Um,
yeah,
I did watch a little bit of it last night because it was on in the background, but it was a one match card for me. It was basically Rhea and Charlotte. Every
yeah.
other match, I was kind of like, yeah, what Ernie Ladd used to say, you're stealing
You're
money. Every
stealing
time you cash a
money,
check, you're stealing money from the WWE.
Bundy.
It was all like, and I really wanted to like the tag match, but it was just kind of, there was a lack of drama. It was just kind of big high spot, and we're gonna sell for like 5 minutes, and then do another big move, and it was, I don't know, I just didn't. I really thought Rhea and Charlotte stole the show, and they should have been the last match because I'm old, and I think the main event should be on the last match of the card.
Yeah,
But I mean, it wasn't terrible, but there was a lot of matches where like this doesn't need to be on WrestleMania. It's four ways and this that and the other thing. It's just kind of
it's just we got to get guys booked. got we we got to get the boys and girls a paycheck.
I mean, the WWE makes enough money in a year. Even if they're not on the card, you can afford to give them once a year
Yes.
because the people that go to that thing, man, they ain't doing shit the rest of the year. I actually looked at the crowd and I went, well, there's 100,000 people that are not going to be buying my porn or anybody else's because you guys spent
You know,
everything. You spent everything until Christmas. You ain't buying shit.
That's
until,
right. That's
Yeah.
right. Cousin Chris from Jiggy Jag TV used to always say when we would go to like the Kansas State Fair, or we would go to we would watch big events like WrestleMania or whatever. He would always say, "All those people in that crowd are not paying their bills next month." And he is right, because there was one time me and my mom were standing outside of a house show in Wichita, and there was these two guys standing in front of us, and one of them said, "Hey man, I got the whole, I got the VIP and the whole experience today, ringside tickets, all the stuff." I think it was either a house show or Raw or something. And then the other guy's like, "Yeah, I did that too, brother, and I'm not paying my I got my cell phone bill delayed a month." And it's like, that's what these guys are doing. I remember last year we were going to take Mr. 2000 with us to he's a local rapper here, and we were going to take him to Exotica, because he always wants to go to the porn convention. But he told me, he's like, "Dog, I'm going to WrestleMania." It was a one in Texas. He's like, "I'm going to WrestleMania in Texas." He goes, "So I probably ain't going to do nothing for the rest of the year."
Yeah, I mean, I've been to like NXT events, and I don't know, it is expensive, even just for a simple show. Like at the stand, and then the building is I don't like to be gouged. I'm not cheap, but I really don't like to be gouged.
Yes.
Like when I'm looking to get a hot dog and a beer, and it should not cost as much as going out to dinner at like a sit down restaurant, and. It kind of a turn off. So usually, I don't go out much because I focus on work, and I have so much travel coming up. But I think going to a Georgia Bulldog game is probably the closest thing to going to like a big event.
Yeah.
And they're really good right now. So the odds of me getting tickets to a game anytime soon are few and far between. So I kind of I'm going to Tampa this coming weekend to work for a website, and Orlando, and then there's Chicago, and then back to Tampa, and then May with the XBiz. There's all kinds of travel going on, so I kind of, I'm like, oh Christ, there's parking, and then there's dealing with people, and then there's standing, and then it's like, and I feel very young. And I forget my age sometimes, but when it comes to stuff like that, all of a sudden I turn into Ed Asner, and I'm like, I
don't want to deal with
it.
So I'm looking at these WrestleMania results, because I've only watched bits and pieces. The main stuff that I've watched so far, because there's so much to get through. I've watched the Hall of Fame. I had to see Muda. I had to see. I think it is crazy that in 2023 they're allowing Conan on WWE TV to even mention some of the things that he mentioned during that speech. But I had to watch Ray and all that stuff. I was kind of disappointed by the Andy Kaufman thing, because I didn't think Andy Kaufman had a family. So the fact that they show up out of nowhere to accept, I'm like, what? And for whatever reason, I thought maybe in the back of my mind they were somehow going to pull something off and have Jim Carrey show up and accept the.
I don't know. I gotta nod. I did tune in for a minute to see the Muda thing, because I thought it was interesting, because they're basically just cashing in on the fact that he just retired.
Yeah.
And it was really lackluster. I thought they could have set it up better, like get him a translator or something like that.
Yes.
The video, you're talking about a guy who was, in his lifetime, he was Sting, he was a John Cena, he was a Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was a Triple H, all rolled into one at various periods of his career, and did all kinds of things. And the video package was kind of like, for WWE standards, I was like, And then again, he doesn't speak English very well, so he did the best he could. But it's like, this guy has a lot. I mean, this guy is
Yes.
probably the most interesting person on this thing. Like, if anybody was going to give a 20-minute speech, I wanted to hear Muda. And you could have had somebody that knows how to translate quickly and make it smooth. You could hire somebody like that. I just kind of thought, okay, yeah, this is clearly just a gimmick. Then, of course, Ray got his long speech I didn't really listen to. I haven't gone back. I don't know, the Hall of Fame is kind of, still there's certain things that bug me about it, like people that aren't in it and the people they put in it, like the fact that they wouldn't put Vader in until
Yes, that really bothers the crap out of me because they knew way ahead of time that he was.
People are talking about. Sorry.
No. I'm just backing you up on the fact that they knew.
The thing, and he wanted to go in.
Yeah.
And then with the Midnight Express, everyone's like, every year since they put the Rock and Roll in, it's like, oh, you got to put the Midnight in. I'm like, yes, you do, and you should have. But Bobby Eaton is gone, and honestly, I got to meet Bobby Eaton in like 2019.
That's awesome.
And could not have been a nicer guy. And he's an Alabama fan. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan, and we started talking about football like we had known each other for 20 years. And nicest guy in the world, and he was the heart of that whole team. And yeah, they still should go in, but it's like, had you done it sooner, it's not going to mean as much, and I don't know, it's just like certain things, I think Ivan Koloff is in it now, but you're talking about
they
a
did
guy
some weird legacy thing one year where they just shoved 15 guys in and they had a graphic and that was it.
Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of more into the wrestling history and the old school stuff. So how they rewrite history, or the fact that
Vince loves to rewrite history.
All the the thing with the Mist, Muda didn't. Well, Gary Hart thought of that, and then he gave it to Kabuki. And then initially, the whole Muda character was supposed to be the son of the great Kabuki.
Yeah.
And I get it. It was the Muda induction, but they were making it sound like, oh, he created the Mist. I'm like, no, he kept it alive.
Yes.
But it was Kabuki, it was Gary Hart. It's like you could have thrown in something really quick. He even gone as far as to say the kayfabe son of the great Kabuki. It's just, they have all this wrestling history that they bought up and they don't put it out, which to me, it's like, okay, you bought it, but you're not getting your money back because you're not monetizing it. So I don't understand.
That's kind of how I feel about Tony Khan with his ROH stuff. He bought ROH and hardly ever uses that footage.
That's just with Vince. I think it's all ego. I think it's like I won, so I get to do what I want. With Tony, I think it's a fanboy thing. Like he just has money and he's gonna buy stuff, and he doesn't really. I'm not trying to trash the guy, but he really.
Oh my God, he doesn't know.
He cannot tell a story.
Yeah.
And and people get on me because like you're so negative, and I'm like, no, I want AEW to succeed. Even if I'm not watching it, I want it to succeed. I would like to see Ring of Honor become a strong third. I would like to see MLW somehow blow up.
Yeah.
Because nobody is offering the wrestling that I would like to see. For as much as people talk about, oh, it's for everybody, and we get to, it's like, yeah, no. You could have your Orange Cassidy, you could have your Young Bucks and your Kenny Omega and all this other shit. You're not giving me what I want, which is like FTR, which is like Punk, which is MJF, more gritty, realistic things, and you're not giving it to me. So, it's a little, and not you're not giving it to me, but your storylines are nonsensical.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you're telling me this Viking guy is like the hottest thing ever since Ray came out of AAA in the 90s. Oh, this is the guy. And I have not seen the match, but from what I've heard, he came in. Now he's gone.
Yeah.
And then it's like
and then they had him wrestle they had him wrestle on the ROH pay-per-view on Friday. And he wrestled this guy named Commander. And the only reason that I guess they had them wrestle on this pay-per-view was I guess they were supposed to be scheduled to wrestle in GCW. And I guess GCW has tried to challenged the trademark on Tony Khan's video game. So Tony was doing some petty little nonsense by booking the match that they had scheduled a month from now on his pay-per-view last week. And it's like, oh my God, what a mess. What a mess this is.
I don't understand. Like, I have a lot of ideas that I finally think, like, things are moving along enough. I got some stuff coming up in the months that if it pans out, it's really going to kind of raise my level and open some doors as far as being able to get the stuff I would really like to make done. And the thing is, I have a lot of ideas, and I will usually tell somebody an idea, or I'll think, oh, like, you inspired this idea, but if it's not going to happen with you, well, it's my idea. I'll go do it with somebody else.
Yeah.
And somebody was like, oh, you got to be careful. Like, what if they take your idea? I'm like, okay, but they're not going to do it the way I did it.
Yes.
You're not going to do it the way I would do it, and they're not going to put in the money, and because that's the only thing slowing me down is, like, I want to invest money in it. I got to get the right outfits. I got to get a good camera person. I'm not going to just rent a hotel room. I got to get an Airbnb, and the Airbnb has to look a certain way. So I have a Killer Clowns from Outer Space parody that I have been, like, this is like my
Clown porn's big, brother.
Well, I've been because I want to do a big Halloween thing, but this one has really become my gangs in New York as far as, like, I have the outfits, I made props, I have the script, the whole nine.
I have the outfits. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I can't edit for shit. In my post-production, like, it literally takes me hours to do the simplest thing, but writing and coming up with ideas and making outfits and props is where I'm good at. So I have all the stuff ready. It's just a matter of getting all the people together in the right environment. And it's like, yeah, go ahead, do a Killer Clown parody. It's not going to be like mine, and I guarantee you it's not going to be as high quality as mine. So, and it's just weird when people get petty, or when, like, you're already making money. So, like, you're already rich, and you're pissing and moaning over.
Yeah.
There was a male talent. I'm not going to mention names, but he has a weird thing where if somebody doesn't want to work with him, he will get annoyed. But meanwhile, in the wings, there's like 50 people lining up to work with him. But he'll obsess about the one person. And I'm like, dude, you need to get, like, a therapy or take a pill, because how the fuck
that is awesome.
Are you upset at the one person? You know, it's like, I don't get it. So that kind of, like, logic and thinking doesn't, you know, like, oh, you're gonna take my idea, or you're gonna steal. Okay, you're not gonna do as well as I am. It's gonna be different.
See, that's the thing. And whenever I talk about, you know, professional wrestling and porn, it's kind of the same thing. You know, the porn guys, like you were saying, steal ideas all the time. And in pro wrestling, they steal ideas all the time, but they sometimes don't actually do them well. It is.
Yeah. That's the thing. I don't view other male talents as competition, because I do what I do, and I have my look that if I get hired by a company, I fit this part. So somebody like Mr. Sticks, somebody like Porter Rock or Artemis, they are great, talented, you know, really smart talents, and they're not better, and I'm not better than them. We're different, and we fill a different need. So it's like, there's no competition. It's just, you know, if you're gonna make a certain thing, well, clearly I don't fit into. I like Freak Mob Media stuff. I like the way they film their stuff. I like the type of girls they get, but they have a certain aesthetic that I don't fit into. So you'll never see me on their website.
Yeah.
But there's other places I can go and work. So it's like, I just kind of, when they get petty or competitive, and it's like, dude, I'm doing Billy Pilgrim. So unless you're trying to do Billy Pilgrim, we'd have no problem, because there's certain, and I've gotten very comfortable turning stuff down where I think I won't fit in. Somebody asked me to do a shoot event in Florida recently, and I was like, you know what? I don't do well in those, because it turns into high school and it becomes about the cool kids, and I wind up not getting as much. And I don't, you know, it's just not for me. So I politely turned it down.
I'm starting to see all sorts of stuff like that, or I hear about these houses that people are starting to do, where they have these where they get all these content creators and porn stars into a house, and then
Yeah.
they have a camera guy and they have an editor and they shoot all this content and then they give it to you at the end. But if you're going to be at this content house, you've got to shoot 4 scenes a day. You got to do this, you got to do that. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like high school.
Well, it's no, like I can do several scenes
Sounds like
in a
homework.
day, and I would rather do. That's the thing. I'm there. I didn't travel all the way here and put money into this thing to sit around on my hands. Like I can do several scenes in a day, and that's what I want to be busy. I want to be working. It, they can be a very good thing for a lot of performers because you get a lot of stuff done.
Yes.
But again, for me, I never seem to get the amount or the quality that I want. It's a lot of sitting around. It does a certain amount of politics and high school kind of thing.
Yes.
And it's not even like, oh, people are shitty. It's weird. It's like it just happens naturally. And I don't really do that, so it doesn't fit me. I'll swing by. If I'm in the area, I'll swing by after you're done shooting for the day and say hello and have a beer, because I like being around other performers. But I just kind of realized after a couple of shoot houses that I've done that, like, it doesn't fit me. It starts to play into your head because, like, geez, am I ugly? Am I not that good? Am I not that popular as I thought I was? Just, I gotta sit, and it's like, so I just rather go, nah, or if I happen to be in the area and there's somebody you really want me to work with, I'll swing by that day. So yeah, it's they're usually a good thing for a lot of people. I've had to come to terms with I don't fit in that, so there's no, and that's one of the things about gaining confidence as a male talent is knowing where you fit in or what you would be good at, and where you're gonna fit in and do your best work. And yeah, I'm very confident now and very comfortable going. I don't think I'd be good at this because one of the things you really got to realize is you got to make people money. The first rule of any part of show business is if you want to be a star and you want to do the stuff you want to do, you need to make people money first. Then you get the freedom to do what you want to do. Like Hugh Jackman, they told him, it's like, you want to do these Broadway plays and these little independent movies where you can, well, we need to see your face on the side of a bus every other movie. You need to do like Van Helsing if you want to do this little art house film. You gotta make, some people need to buy yachts and their mistresses new tits in order for you to get to do the stuff you want.
That's
so
right.
It is a job. It is, so, it's like, if I don't feel like I'm going to be at my best or make you money, I'm like, yeah, come next time you got another idea, hit me up. Maybe I'll fit that one. But I don't like, if I can't guarantee that I'm going to give you my best and make you money, I really don't want to be there.
Well, we have got Billy Pilgrim with us today, and Billy is fantastic. We have our next guest going to be coming up here in just a few moments. In fact, he is with us now. I think Patrick Palmer can hear me. Patrick, how are you, sir?
Hello,
Hey,
Patrick.
we're doing good. Hugh Jackman is kind of a local hero right now in North Iowa because if you're not used to geography, I live just 30 miles south of Mason City, Iowa, where The Music Man was written about. River City is Mason City, Iowa.
Okay.
And so anyway, Hugh Jackman's like a god right now in North Iowa because he's Professor Harold Hill in The Music Man, and that rhymes with P, and we got pool.
I worked at Dave & Buster's when I lived in New York City. I worked at Dave & Buster's in Times Square, and a lot of the celebrities would come in because their kids would have birthday parties. Right? They would come in like the rest of the parents, like, okay, your classmates having a party, and he was there, and everybody was losing their mind because Hugh Jackman is just standing there talking to one of the dads, and everybody's just like fainting, and I'm like, biggest star in Hollywood. Has anybody asked him if he needed anything or whatever? So I was like, oh shit. I went over and I'm like, and literally the man is gorgeous. He glows. Like he glows. Like he's like literally. I'm not exaggerating. I think his teeth sparkled when he smiled at me. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, do you need anything? Can I help you get it? Can I get you anything? And he's so polite and so kind of humble and almost meek. He was like, yeah, I'd like a cup of coffee. No sugar. I'm like, sorry, what? And he's like, I'd like a cup of coffee with no. And I'm hard of hearing. I'm like, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. He's like, and finally I went, what? I had it, and he's like, can I get a cup of coffee with sugar? And so I was like, oh yeah, sure. And I went and got it for him, but I had to basically yell at Hugh Jackman to get him to like speak up.
Yell at Hugh Jackman.
Listen here, you gorgeous multi-million-dollar fucking brilliant actor. Fucking project, goddammit, project. I'm working for tips here. Come on, let's go. But very nice guy, very, very nice guy. And his wife was very. His wife has a lot of energy, man. She was running around that store after her kid, doing all the shit. It was like, goddamn, But yeah, that's my Hugh Jackman.
That is
story.
awesome. That is awesome.
Well, good. I mean, yeah, he is. Like I took Herschel Savage to Music Man Square. They've got a whole deal.
Oh God,
kind of an
Herschel
emporium.
Savage.
There's a legend. There's a
Herschel's. They've got a big picture, a big statue, a bronze statue of Meredith Willson, the person who wrote the Music Man, and he's holding a baton, and Herschel's next to him holding a baton. Anyway, and then Herschel says, Jesus Christ, look at the size of that house he grew up in. Because he got his boyhood home next door.
Yeah, no, Herschel's a legend. Is he still doing well? Is he, because I know he's a health nut, but is he, like, doing well and, like, still acting, or is he?
No, he's just out in L.A., and I saw him back in January, and we had a fun time. Spent a couple days there, and he was all full of piss and vinegar, as they say.
That's
awesome.
Good. That's good.
Well, Billy.
I also took him to the. Have you ever seen the movie La Bamba or the Buddy Holly story?
Yes. Yes,
My
both.
God, La Bamba.
Anyway, Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and the Big Bopper crashed 35 miles from my house, which is next door.
Wow.
They took off from the Mason City Airport. Anyway, so we went out to the crash site and watched and saw the three. They got three monuments out there, and Herschel's famous line was, "Too bad the pilot couldn't have crashed closer to the road."
Jesus.
Walked about a half mile out.
Well, as we wrap up here with Billy, before we let you go, my friend, how do people get in touch with you online and social media and everything? And
I'm at on Twitter. I'm at Billy Pilgrim XXX, all lowercase, all one word. If you want to check out my content, I have a Many Vids channel, and there are more channels coming, but it's Billy Pilgrim XXX, same thing. Capital B, capital P, 3 X's. I have an Instagram that I kind of am forced to have, and it's Real Billy P, all lowercase, at Instagram. And I'm also on Blush Erotica and BBW Adventures. If you like your porn a little bit more mainstream, I'm doing scenes for Desperate Amateurs and Blush Erotica in the next couple of months. So I'll have some new content coming out on some websites, and yeah, I'm still building. These platforms are a pain in the ass to set up because it takes like a week to get them to respond to do shit.
Oh my God.
But what do you call it? I envy Herschel's day. All he had to do was show up and know his lines and get hard. Fucking the glory days. But I'm mostly on Twitter, so if you want to talk to me or interact with me, that's the way you can find me. And again, it's Billy Pilgrim XXX on Twitter.
Well, it's good
I
stuff.
only have the one Twitter, so.
Billy, you are fantastic. Thank you for.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you for doing this.
No, thanks for having me back. It's always fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks in Chicago.
Yes.
Do you drink?
No, we don't need to call the cops. There's no reason for me to have any alcohol. Now, Britannia drinks like nobody's business.
Yeah, well, you could stand next to me when I drink, and we'll catch up.
By the way, but before we let Billy go, I have got to have you tell our next guest, Patrick Palmer here. Patrick, you have got to hear this. Billy has a comparison between porn and a Rock and Roll Express match from the Crockett days of the National Wrestling Alliance. Go ahead, Billy.
Yeah, somebody was asking me, like, what's it like to do porn or whatever, and I just kind of like, well, it's like a Rock and Roll Express match. You come in with a lot of fanfare, you start off with a couple of big moves, and then you get the heat on her. She sells like Ricky Morton for 20 minutes. You make a little bit of a comeback, or she makes a little bit of a comeback, and then she gives you the hot tag, and then you go home. Big finish. You hit your finisher, and you're done. And, so...
Well, Billy, you are amazing. Thank you for doing this, brother. I will see you.
Thank you for having me. And
in Chicago.
And Patrick, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, I'll see you in Chicago, and maybe you can.
I don't want to eat into your time, but you mentioned Iowa. One of my favorite musicians is from Iowa. I don't know if you like blues, folk music, but there's a great Iowa musician, William Elliott Whitmore. He's from Lee County, Iowa, and he's a great acoustic blues player. So if you like that kind of thing, I would check him out. He's a local boy.
Oh, blues make me sad.
But he also does folk, so,
But Billy, we're going to have you on Jizz Talking sometime. We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm easy to book. Just let me know the time and the day. I am a whore for attention. So obviously, I'm ready to go.
It happens to the best of us, right, Jiggy?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go. I don't want to eat up
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, Billy. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right.
Appreciate it. There he goes, a fantastic Billy Pilgrim with us today. He joins us live, and we go to Patrick Palmer now.